John Maxwell said, anyone can communicate. Few people actually connect. Connecting with your audience is going to be the key to achieving your purpose or your objective. Great presentations don't come from amazing decks of slides. They come from connecting with the audience. It's our job as the speaker to put together a presentation that is going to connect with the audience, not just deliver some information. I used to work for a Fortune 500 IT services company. We had a marketing department, and they used to produce these amazing decks of slides. Beautiful slides with amazing graphics that told our story. And they would provide those to the business development managers. When we received those, too often I saw account managers take these, go out to a customer site, and then continue to present all these slides, assuming that the beautiful slides would do the work for them. It's not the amazing slides that are going to close the sale. It's connecting with the audience, listening to them, and giving them what they want. I've seen too often where a group will go and give a presentation to a certain audience and then think that they can deliver that same presentation to a totally different audience and get the same result. I'll give you an example. In the IT services business, we would take groups of people out, and we had to usually speak to an engineering team at the customer site. The customer's engineers would have to approve all the technology and determine whether or not they want to move forward with that type of a project. So a presentation would be given. It's 45 minutes to an hour long. All the engineers on the customer side love it. They give it the thumbs up. They say stamp of approval. It looks great. We want to move forward. But we don't sign the checks. So you guys are going to have to come back again another time. Let's say next week, and we'll have you present to the executives. They're the ones who actually sign the checks. They own the budget. So the very next week, the group comes back to present to the executives, and they deliver the exact same presentation. Do you think that worked well? Think about it. Think about a group of executives and think about engineers. Engineers and executives, they speak two different languages. That's like comparing Russian to Swedish. They're two completely different languages. When you don't take the time to customize your presentation to your audience, you are not going to set yourself up for success. So how do you relate to the audience, and how do I prepare for the audience? You do what we call an audience analysis. Now with the iSpeak presentation planner, we've got 5 categories of questions that you can ask yourself about the audience. So make sure you understand more about them. When you're done with the audience analysis, it takes about 10 minutes or less for you to do that audience analysis. When you're done, you'll be thinking like the audience. You will truly empathize with them and put yourself in their shoes so that you can understand what they will be looking for in this presentation. Now you are prepared to create a presentation for them. There was a video that was done several years ago. It was back in the 90s. A professional golfer by the name of J.C. Anderson was caught on the practice tees by ESPN. And ESPN was talking to him and interviewing him, and he decided to do a little bit of a humorous bit for them. And they said, JC, what are the secrets to golf? And he proceeds to give the answer. He says, these are the secrets to golf. If you write these down, I think it'd really be helpful. And then he goes into speaking very quickly, using terminology, not only golf terminology, but I'd call it physics and physiology, geometry. He's giving mathematical statistics. And he speaks so quickly, and at the end he said, you should be able to hit shots like this. He takes a shot, and of course he flubs it. It comes straight up in his hand, and then he throws it like that. In a video like that, I want you to picture this. If I asked you the question, let's look at that as a presentation. Did JC achieve his purpose? What do you think? It's a trick question. You can't answer that question because you'd have to ask me a question and say, Russ, what was his purpose? So if I said, okay, well, his purpose was to teach people how to golf. He wanted to educate people on how to golf. Now, did he achieve his purpose? You might be shaking your head and say, no, he didn't, but it's actually another trick question. You can't answer that either until you ask me one more question, and that is, who is his audience? Who did he intend to deliver this presentation to? So let's assume that he intended to deliver the presentation to, we'll just say you and me, assuming that you're just maybe an average golfer, golf a few times a year on the weekends. Now, you know the purpose. He wants you to be a better golfer. You know the audience, just the average golfer. Now answer the question, did he achieve his purpose? And the answer is no, he didn't. Absolutely not, because I'm more confused now than ever. So now let me change something. Let me change the audience. Let's assume instead of him preparing the presentation for you and me, average golfer, he's preparing it for nuclear physicists. Take Albert Einstein and throw people in that category. That's the audience he's speaking to. I think you see where I'm going with this. If I were to then ask the question, did he achieve his purpose? To educate them on golf, make them better golfers, and he's speaking to the Einstein category. Maybe, right? You might say, well, okay, maybe he did because he was speaking in terms that they would definitely understand. Okay, so it went to maybe. Let me change something else. Let's go back to the average golfer, you and me. That's the audience. Let me change the purpose. Let's assume that the purpose had nothing to do with educating people on how to swing better. Let's assume that his purpose was merely to entertain you. It was meant to be entertainment and entertainment only. Now you know the purpose. You know the audience, just you and me again. Did he achieve his purpose? Yes, he did. Maybe it's not roll on the floor, belly laugh, it's so funny, but it was entertaining. Let me point this out. Did the presentation change? No. Presentation was exactly the same. Do you see how we went from, no, he failed miserably, to, well, maybe he achieved his purpose, to, yes, he absolutely achieved his purpose. And the only thing that I changed in each of those three scenarios was either the audience or the purpose, the goal and objective that he was trying to achieve. Knowing who your audience is before you create your presentation is going to set you up for success. Remember, we don't want to just communicate, we want to connect.